Marvel Rivals is officially out, and although it's just the kickoff season, hundreds of thousands of players across PC, Xbox, and PlayStation have flocked to the game to go ham on their favorite heroes in a Marvel mashup that is a ton of fun. My name is Kodiak, this is Legacy Gaming, and this is our ultimate beginner's guide for the free-to-play third-person hero shooter, Marvel Rivals. Starting any game can be a bit overwhelming, but it's doubly worse when you fire up any free-to-play game that's pretty much out to get you from the moment you log in. Marvel Rivals really is no different, and a lot of stuff is happening on the screen, and that's all before you ever step into a game. The most important thing to understand is that Marvel Rivals currently, and this will expand, features 33 heroes across 3 different archetypes. All of them are available to play right from the start, and while Trial by Fire is fun, one of the best things you can do before anything else is step into the practice arena. You can find this right above the quick play option in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. This will take you to a private match with a very competent range where you can test out every hero in a number of combat-like scenarios, test abilities, and even play around with your ultimate abilities and team-ups. It's a great test environment that gives you the freedom to mess around without the pressure of an actual match, and even just a couple minutes in the practice arena can be enough to get your bearings with a hero. If you are new and really unsure about what character you want to play, we've got a great video breaking down our favorite choices across the 3 categories: Vanguard, Strategist, and Duelist. So no matter what your playstyle is, we've identified a hero you might like. With all 33 heroes unlocked, you might wonder, what's the point of playing? If there's no carrot on the end of the stick, how do you stay invested? That's where missions come in. These come in 3 varieties. Daily missions reset every night around 2 a.m. Eastern Time and offer the most simplistic opportunities, such as winning a certain number of matches or dealing a certain amount of damage. Daily missions reward chrono tokens, which can be used as part of the Battle Pass system. Challenges offer a slightly more difficult set of objectives to complete and are often hero-specific, so you'll want to make sure to check these out regularly to know which characters to play. Challenges also reward chrono tokens. Both daily missions and challenges can be pinned, locking them from being rotated out. This is a great feature if you're someone that doesn't have a lot of time on their hands. The final missions are tied to this seasonal event and are even more character-specific than challenges, offering a bit more complexity to things, but also rewarding you for your efforts. Seasonal event rewards range, and while we've only seen a few at this point, these will continue to unlock over the course of the season, with rewards ranging from sprays, cosmetics, to chrono tokens and units, another type of currency used to purchase store cosmetics. The kicker with the season event objective is that these can be completed in the practice versus AI game mode, so if you really want to make things easy and don't want to struggle with some of these during a real match, that's a quick solution. Marvel Rivals also features its own in-game achievement system. There are currently 4 categories: Galacta's Guide, Rivalry Rising, Heroic Journey, and Chronoverse Saga. If you play a diverse selection of heroes, you'll naturally start completing these, and that's what you want because as you complete achievements, you'll receive points within each category. Collect enough points and you'll be rewarded. Each category rewards something different, such as cosmetics or currency, and while I don't think it's worth stressing over completing these as fast as possible, you should mix up who you play on occasion so you can take full advantage of this system, only if cosmetics are something you care about. Since we're on the topic of cosmetics, I want to be clear about the game's Battle Pass and store. As a free-to-play game, there was no doubt this was going to be the path the team took, but because of how many layers there are to understanding all the different ways you can unlock things in the game, both systems are worth talking about. For Season 0, the Battle Pass is called Chronovium, featuring premium skins for Black Panther, the Punisher, Doctor Strange, Hela, and Mantis. In all, there are 5 pages of rewards, but until you reach a certain threshold of chrono tokens collected, you can only purchase rewards on the pages you've unlocked. Most rewards are locked behind a paywall, and if you're curious, the Battle Pass costs 490 lattice, which is the premium paid-for currency in the game. If you want to purchase the Battle Pass plus an additional influx of chrono tokens and a season-long 20% acquisition bonus, you'll need 1,050 lattice, which will cost you $11, purchasing both a $10 pack and a $1 pack. There are a few rewards on each page that don't require the Battle Pass to unlock, but for the most part, the best stuff is locked behind the Luxury Battle Pass paywall. If cosmetics are your thing and you want to take the look of your favorite hero further, then there's the store. Everything in here is cosmetic with no pay for power elements in sight. Everything in here costs units, which are the blue currency. As shown before, you can get these in small pockets by doing achievements and missions, but for the most part, you'll need to purchase lattice and then convert those into units in order to get the skin you want. There are also a number of bundles in here which combine a number of cosmetic elements like costumes and emotes together, which is nice. At this point, expect to pay anywhere from $16 to $26 for any premium item or bundle currently available in the store. Once you're ready to dive into some games, you have a few options, and while these will expand over time, they're very manageable at this point. By default, the game will give you the option to jump into a quick match. This is broken down into 3 game modes. Domination is your typical King of the Hill style objective-based game, where 2 teams will fight over a singular point for control. Then, they'll have to hold that point until one team reaches 100%. This is a best of 3 rounds, with the points sometimes changing between rounds depending on the map. This works really well with Marvel Rivals, mainly because of how varied hero movesets are. Characters are all across the spectrum, with some great at penetrating defenses, while others are lockdown defenders, and in between are a variety of heroes that excel at one thing or another. Because the game mode is fixed with very little movement, it often reveals those characters' strengths and weaknesses, which is fun. Convoy is another game mode, with one team tasked to push a cart from the start of the map to an endpoint on the opposite side, while the opposing team is trying to stop you from completing that objective. Talk about a push and pull here. This is where you really feel the ebb and flow of a 2-team dynamic, and it's important to recognize that early on. Convoy is not about diving in full tilt. In fact, that's quite possibly the worst thing you could do. This game mode really tests patience and team coordination, and while not a new innovation in the genre, it continues to be a great test for pickup groups and formal squads alike. Then there's Convergence, which combines the ideas of both Domination and Convoy. To start, one team will have to claim a mission objective, which will then spawn a convoy that the attacking team will need to escort. While the game mode is different on paper, it feels exactly like you'd expect, a mashup of the 2 other modes we talked about, but it does force you to think about your strategy going in. Attacking or defending a hardpoint is different than pushing a convoy, and because hero selection can be changed mid-round at the time of making this video, you can adjust to the situation. If you're simply looking to jump in and kill a few people in an arena-style mode, there is Conquest, but you have to manually toggle it from the game's mode selection menu in the bottom right of the screen. This is essentially Team Deathmatch, but when enemies die, they drop Chronovium, which you need to collect to gain points for your team. Before we share a few combat tips, we have to understand the heroes. I've mentioned the 3 archetypes already, but let's take a closer look at each of them. Vanguards are your tanks, but beyond soaking a ton of damage, each excel at a different style of play. For example, Venom can create incredible pressure on an enemy team just by his sheer presence, but his ability to shield himself and slow nearby enemies makes him an absolute pain to deal with. He can also disrupt your backline, healers, and DPS. On the complete other end of the spectrum is a character like Magneto, who has no ability to disrupt the backline, but can shield allies in multiple ways, while also having 2 different ranged attacks. Vanguards bring varied skill sets to the table, which helps them feel like more than tanks, but ultimately they are essentially your beefy boys on the front line. Strategists are your support heroes, and that doesn't just mean healing. Again, we see a spectrum of characters that can do a variety of things, from healing and damage to pure disruption. Characters like Mantis are more equipped to support a team directly through healing, with a powerful smart heal and an ultimate that can keep your entire team topped off during a push. Other strategists like Cloak and Dagger, a truly unique hero that combines 2 characters with independent movesets as one hero, each with their own set of skills, some of which are healing-centric, while others are damage and disruption-focused. Finally, there are your duelists, your DPS heroes, and while they're each different, they all have one job: to defeat the heroes on the other team. I would say this is a less nuanced archetype, but does offer the most variety in terms of hero selection, including ranged characters like Black Widow and Hawkeye, to more in-your-face melee heroes such as Wolverine and Black Panther. You should also know that some heroes have team-ups, and it's something I really haven't seen utilized much in my 15+ hours with the game so far. There are currently 15 team-ups in the game, and these are activated by simply having the right combination of heroes on your team. With every team-up, there is one character who initiates the action. In the case of Moon Knight and Cloak and Dagger, Moon Knight can activate a stealth bubble for a short period of time, and that's because the 2 heroes are simply on the same team. I implore you to really check this out, and the game even makes understanding team-ups super easy during character selection. What it boils down to are free buffs for your team, and you're leaving that on the table if you don't choose to embrace them. Now, at any point in time, if you need a reminder of what your hero's abilities are, you can hold F1 on PC or the corresponding console key to bring up the full array of skills. This is extremely helpful when it comes to understanding the nuance of each ability, and something I frequently used as I was getting my bearings on a new hero. If you're new to the hero shooter genre or just haven't played in a while, we wanted to share a few important combat tips, starting with this. In the game's menu are a number of settings that allow you to tweak your crosshair parameters, allowing you to tailor the visual to whatever suits you best. If you're someone that struggles with accuracy, then this might be a good first step, as small tweaks can produce massive results. As with most hero shooters, one thing remains true. Do not separate from your group for too long. Yes, there are hit-and-run based characters or those who can dive the back lines, but when you do that, don't expect to receive any heals. Scattered around the map are health packs that you can use when you don't have a healer or you're separated from the group. Take advantage of these because the enemy team can also use them. It also can't be said enough that team composition does matter, and when you're playing solo, you might need to make a sacrifice for the betterment of the team. You can play whatever you want, that's true, but trust me, a 6-stack of duelists is going to lose every time to a well-balanced team. There are plenty of Vanguard and Strategist heroes that are fun to play, so realize you don't always have to do the most DPS to have a good time in a game like Marvel Rivals. At this point, you're set to dive into some matches and start learning by doing, as Iron Man once said. You have the tools, you know the lingo, and now you need the reps, so queue up for a few matches and give Marvel Rivals a whirl. Friends, we hope you enjoyed this Ultimate Beginner's Guide. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to leave us a comment in the chat, and as always, if you like this video, drop a like and consider subscribing. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.